Hello, lovers of the world. Today we have a beautiful matchmaker joining us from no other than the most fun city, Nashville, Nadine Jimenez-Langagne. Did I get it right?
Yes, very
Oh,
well.
amazing. That's my goal. And I'm just so excited to have you on the show today. Nadine is the founder, chief love officer of Matchmaking Nashville, and they do a lot of incredible things in addition to, just hiring a chief love officer to matchmake you. There's a dating mentoring membership, which includes a dating plan design, 2 monthly sessions or curated match, lots of chats. And there's also a Dater Society membership, where you can get a dating plan design, coaching, and group chat support, as well as intentional events. So it's really exciting. And my cousin used to live in Nashville. Of course, anyone who loves music is excited about Nashville. I haven't been yet myself, but it's a city I'm excited to explore. I guess you could call it a digital nomad, and I decided to just let's see what happens if I expand my search for love across the entire world. So, Nadine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Manisha. We love to have you here. So feel free to come. Time it when we have one of my singles
I
events
will.
and and,
just
and we hope to
just
see you
call my
here.
name. I'll be there for my dates. I tell the matchmakers I give really good date. I'm like, even if a guy is really nervous, I'm kind of like psychotherapist/date. It's I'm a pro. So, Nadine, first of all, matchmaking is such an eclectic and unique profession. I don't know if I've ever heard of a little girl who grew up dreaming of being a matchmaker, or I don't know, maybe one day they're going to have a matchmaking Bachelor of Arts, but I'm so curious, how you became a matchmaker and how you ended up in Nashville.
Of course, of course. And well, even though I didn't dream of being a matchmaker because that wasn't a thing, I did like to set up my friends when I was a little older than but in my teens and in college. I actually matched some of my friends in college, and they've been married for more than 20 years. So this was
Wow.
something that was always in me, but of course, it wasn't the career that you think that you're going to succeed and that you're going to follow and is going to actually give you something as a legacy, right? It's
Right.
not going to pay the bills,
You could eat
just setting up your
from
friends is not going to pay the
matchmaking.
bills.
Yeah.
Um, but so I actually chose a career in supply chain. That's my background. I was 20 years in corporate and I enjoyed it. I lived everywhere a little bit. I started in Mexico City with my company, and then I moved to the US, to the East Coast, then to the West Coast, then to Barcelona, Spain, and
Oh,
finally made it to Nashville. And when I got to Nashville, I was like, I need to settle down. My supply chain career has been so much fun, has been so rewarding in many ways because solving crisis was fun, in
yeah. I
in
mean,
my
you're
younger
contributing
career.
so much to the world and climate
Yes.
change and health, human health.
Yeah. You solve a crisis, you deliver, you make customers have what they need, right? And you balance supply and demand. So that's really fun, and I really enjoyed it. I was very passionate about my career. Um but it gets to and I was very ambitious, and I got promoted, moved around. But then when I made it to Nashville, I was like, I need to settle down, and I was single again. And after a long term relationship, and after being single for a couple years during my stay in Barcelona, and I was like, you know what? This is where I am going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on my personal life, and I'm going to find a partner. So I ended up hiring a dating service, which, there's a distinction between dating services and matchmaking companies.
Mm.
I didn't know it at the time. They did call themselves matchmakers. And then I got a relationship out of it. So I was really happy with that. But the process was a little rocky. in terms
Interesting.
of how it was managed. But I was like, oh my God, this is a business. This is a business, and it's
Amazing.
a business that works, and it's a business that is so rewarding.
I
Uh,
feel like somebody should write a new song, "You Can Buy Me Love."
yes, you can. but but you have to be ready for it too. One of the
Yeah,
things that
of
I
course.
discovered was that, well, that relationship, they put me in front of a guy that was a good partner. I really wasn't ready. I actually needed more things to work on. And
Mm. What were
so
some of
when
the
the,
things that you felt like you needed to work on when you met?
so a lot of confidence, a lot of putting boundaries, a lot of
Mm,
self-esteem. And I actually, after that relationship, I took a coaching program, and a dating specific coaching program. I've done coaching all my life, like leadership coaching and
I
things like
love
that.
that, Nadine. You're just like, "Problem? Let me fix it." Such a good way to go
And
through life. I mean,
yeah, and you get support, right? Because realizing that you're not the expert on everything,
yeah,
it's kind of humbling too. And just
for
saying,
sure.
okay, there's something I need to work on to get to the relationship I need. I'm gonna get help.
Amazing. Okay, there's
And
so many things that I wanna unpack here.
yes,
I
yes,
wanna
go
wait, I wanna
ahead.
hear what you're no, I feel like I just missed something critical, but okay. Do you mind if we kind of go into some of the points that you've said?
Go. I was just kind of
Okay, wait, but
sharing
first I
how
wanna
I
hear
went
how you
here.
got help because I feel like, I don't know, that just hits me in the gut. So you ended up doing a program that really helped you to work on those things.
Yes, I invested in a really in-depth program about being ready for love,
Mhm.
and about learning to date confidently as a woman, as a
Wow.
successful woman. And it is I was doing things that I probably shouldn't have doing when I was dating, and that's why I wasn't getting to the partner that I really deserved.
Yeah,
um so I got so into that I was like, oh my God, now I can do it for my own. And I had also taken the matchmaking certificate. So I was already a matchmaker. I now had taken this coaching program that was specially for dating. And then I was like, this is how I prove my theory. My theory is that when you work on yourself and you're ready and you get help on being in front of the right partner, that's when your relationship gets to you.
amazing.
And I took
Okay.
myself as a first client,
Yeah, that's the
and
best.
and I and I researched and I used the dating apps, and I went through the pain again,
Mm,
um without the matchmaker, because now I'm a matchmaker. I'm going to use the dating apps as a tool. But now I'm gonna date confidently.
I love that. It's such a different approach to going in. So, okay,
Mhm.
so you were in Mexico and you were setting up all these friends. So, granted, I grew up in a different culture. I was in Ithaca, New York, and then I moved to New York City, which is, I do believe, one of the hardest places for single women to meet men. Not impossible, but very difficult. So I'm kind of curious, but I have asked multiple friends to set me up. And I think people who really would love to be able to support me and with almost zero outcomes. I've also tried to set up friends and it's been challenging. But it seems like have you kind of distilled a little bit? Like, why were you so good at it naturally? What were the kind of ways you led your life that just made you naturally able to set up your friends? Because it is a unique skill set.
Yes. I I think I was very social, and I was always
Mm,
very a natural connector. I will say it that
mm.
way. I didn't have I wasn't shy. So if we went to a bar and you told me I like that guy, I will go and say, hey, I'm Nadine. My friend over there is Melissa, and she'd like to meet you. How about that? I'm I don't I think I was courageous too. I'm not afraid to be told no. And
Mm,
and that doesn't mean
It's
that I
important.
like rejection. I actually worked on a lot of that, and rejection is actually redirection. But back in my younger years, I didn't know that. I was just like, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I think
Mm,
that comes from my mom too, because she always said, like, all you can do is ask, right?
absolutely. So
So
you
what if they say no?
network with both men and women to be able to kind of make those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and it was just that. It was just the fact that I could say, "Hey, I am Nadine, I am just a regular person here, but my friend would like to meet you." And, or just start a conversation. Yeah, I think if you are very sociable and if you are not afraid to start a conversation anyway, that already gives you an edge,
Yeah.
as a single person, but also as a matchmaker, obviously, even more.
Yeah. So I think what I'm dealing with right now is that I have, I used to be really scared of men. And sometimes I still feel a little bit, if I like someone, I have that fear of rejection. But I have progressed considerably in my ability to get dates, to talk to men, to smile at men on the street. And I do find, people approach me, I go on dates, men want a second date, and yet I've had this long, long string of men who are not able or don't want to commit. And I was wondering, so your focus is supply and demand. You have this background in supply chain. Tell me honestly, is there a supply and demand here problem of, developed single women who are looking for a man who's ready to commit to a long-term partnership and be kind and nurturing, and there just aren't enough to go around?
I think based on s-
Tell
based on
the
the
truth.
statistics, yeah, based on the statistics, there is more demand for high quality men in the older, like, when you get close
Mm,
to your 50s, 60s, you
okay.
know, late 40s as a woman. And for the men, for the younger men that are under 30, they have a shortage of supply of women. But it's not really
Mm,
a shortage of supply. It's hard, it's a little bit harder to find them, and you have to put a little bit more effort. That's how I will see it.
yeah,
It's
because these men, it's just like every single woman I know wants to find a man who wants to get married and have a commitment. And then, like,
yes.
all these men are just kinda like, I don't know, I'm so traumatized by my last relationship, I can't," or, "I just need to run away from," or, "I just, wanna sleep around." It's
Yeah.
hard.
So that that is another problem. It's like you are finding the men are available, but they're not willing to commit, and that's what you're finding.
That's what I'm finding, yeah.
And that's probably how you're selecting too, because
Probably.
there are there are available men that want to be committed in a committed relationship at any age range, and there are women too. So
Hmm.
at this point in life, like, about 50% of people are single, divorced, or not attached.
But where
So
are they? Where are these guys? I mean, are they on dating apps? I mean, how do you should you just write to everybody and say like, "Hey, do you want something long term?"
there are many strategies. I always try to help singles in three different ways. One is your mindset, the other one is your strategy, and the other one is your network. So your
Say those again.
mindset.
So, mindset, strategy, network. That's a great
Exactly.
triad.
Yes. So the first thing is, in your mindset, do you really feel like you're deserving? Do you really feel like you are ready? Are you seeing abundance or lack? Are you getting on your own way when you choose? Are you giving opportunities? Are you open enough to really be surprised by that person that is available, that is commitment minded, but he doesn't look the way that you think he should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And or he's not in the career that you thought you wanted. So the more limiting that your criteria is, the harder it's going to be to find you that supply.
For
The
sure. No,
the
okay,
more
I wanna say something here because I think my
Mhm,
situation is a little bit unique, and I wanna be aware of my blind spots, which is, first of all, a lot of women are stupid about height. For me, no. Like, I'm 5'5". I mean, it's nice to find someone a little taller than me, but, I've dated guys of all heights, it's great, That's fine. In terms of their career, I used to be kind of biased about the career. Then I went out with the electrician. He was like throwing $100 bills right and left. I'm like, okay, I'm over that, right? You know,
uh-huh,
kind of a little bit awkwardness when I meet someone who's just on a really different level intellectually. I mean, I think that's a bit challenging for me. I have a curiosity and I like to read. I like to talk about what I read. So if someone is just really not interested in learning, it's a bit tricky. I went out with a taxi driver recently and I just felt like I just can't do this. Like it's just not we're just not meeting each other at all
mhm,
intellectually. Not like I need a genius or anything.
mhm,
Um so I feel like when I was kinda super picky about that in my 20s, but I've really expanded since, and, I've also treated this like a numbers game, and I went to Texas, and I said, "Okay, I'm just gonna go on a date every single day. Anybody who says they're interested in a long-term partnership, I'm gonna go out with them." And I just felt like there was always something, and even I had a friend who was an accountability partner, so if there was something that was a deal breaker for me, I had to tell her, so she had to kinda cross-check it. And the deal breakers were like, we went on a date, he talked nonstop for an hour and didn't ask a single question about myself. Like, huge, you know? Another deal breaker, a guy turned off up at our date with, like, wet, fresh tattoos on his arm covered with plastic and told me that he thought the bombing of Hiroshima was a good thing because it got rid of Japanese hate. Like, these things were just and I was like, I don't feel like going on a second date with this person. It's so not me, So I don't I just and then I
yeah.
just go on Tinder apps and I don't know, like, maybe the guys are better in Nashville or something? I don't know. Like, I feel like
No, I
really
think they're
my boundaries have been open, and it's just like, no, no, no.
yeah. Let's let's talk about the guy that did not talk on the date, that did not
Mm,
ask questions on the date. Okay? Let's talk about that situation specifically because the other one is a red flag, but with the someone that doesn't ask questions,
mhm,
you probably need to say something. And I always tell my daters,
mm,
this is what you can do. You can say, hey, I'm learning so much about you. What do you want to learn about me? So you are co-creating this date, and
mm.
if you need something to have fun on that date, and if you need to see a little bit further from, there are good men that are not good daters.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes. That makes
and
sense
they get nervous and they want to get you to qualify them because they've gone on a lot of dates where women are interviewing them,
for sure.
and they they start just telling you everything that they think is going to qualify them to be your date, and they actually shoot themselves in the foot because because they're not asking questions. But
Mm.
you as a woman, you can change that, and you can use that to have them ask you questions. Now, was that just a nervous first date? You will never know
I will
because you
never
didn't
know.
give that person a second date, and you didn't give that person the signal to
I didn't
say,
yeah.
I need you to ask me questions.
I just suggested as a red flag. Okay, so here's another one. So I went out with this guy, and so I'm 5'4" and he was 5'5", and we had, like, a nice coffee date, and then I started feeling a little bit self-conscious about the height issue. right? And then
Mhm,
a
mhm.
month later, I said to myself, "You know what? That's crazy." So I reached out to the guy. He immediately took me out to dinner. We had a really nice time. I mean, like, he was a West Point grad. He had, just like was really sweet. I felt like, we were talking about something and I was like, I like you. I like you too, and then we went out for drinks and he invited me again. We drank again, then we kinda, like, went back to his place, made out. We didn't actually have sex because I felt like, "Okay, this is not a good thing to do on a 3rd date," but it was a lot like, it was kind of, getting to that point. And then I went home and I didn't hear from him. Like, we made plans because I was thinking, "Okay, I should do something nice for him." So I said, like, "How about we do a picnic on Monday?" And then I didn't hear from him, and then Saturday, I was like, "Ooh, I really, like, keep thinking about you," kind of like a little, sexy text. And then on Sunday, he said, "Hey, I actually have a lot to do on Monday, so we postpone?" And the thing is he had taken a whole year off to travel. So it's like he was taking off the day because he needed to plan his traveling, and I just felt like I was kind of being, I don't know, like, somehow he got some type of ick or something, and I was just, I don't know, I felt like I had kind of made all these accommodations to, get myself excited about some type that I didn't normally go out with, and then I just felt like, "Hey, that's fine," but I just didn't feel like it's not up to me to follow up, it's up to him to follow up, and then I never heard from him again.
Yeah, and that's on him. That's you see, this is where the mindset piece comes. Um, because when he doesn't reach out, you're thinking maybe you gave him a nick, and
Yeah.
that's that shouldn't be in your thoughts. In your thoughts should be, hey, I did everything I could. I signaled that I wanted to see him again, and I had a really great time. And he just chose something else for him at this point of time, and that's not on me. That's not on you. That doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. That
Mm,
means that for that person, you were not the his his priority at that moment, and he missed out, you
mm,
know? But that's when you really love yourself and you say, and a lot of dating, a lot of the success to find a partner is less about supply and demand and it's more about self-confidence. And this
mm,
is where you say, every day you say, hey, I am so worthy of love and I am a wonderful
mm.
catch. And I am I am hoping to meet my person and this might be my person, but I'm just also hoping to just have a great time today.
Yeah.
And then whatever they do, if they signal effort, you follow their effort. If they decide not to call you again, then you let them go and you wish them well. And you
Mm.
learn the lesson because Manisha, what was the lesson that you learned that day?
That this guy doesn't like me. I'm not good in bed, maybe?
No.
That I should have slept with him and not let him, like, do things to me and then not do things to him. I don't know.
No. Well, that's what is great to talk about these things because one lesson that I see that you could have learned is I gave a chance to somebody that was 5'4" and it was great and I still
Yeah,
felt chemistry. So yes, that's great. You pushed your boundary on
yeah,
height and you actually felt chemistry. That's
yeah.
one lesson. The other lesson can be about intimacy. If you're not exclusive with a person, would it have been a good idea to go further? Or did you need some more time to get to know him better before you took that step?
I have to tell you something so bad. Is it okay? It's kind of sexually explicit. So,
Okay.
I just basically okay, so I
It's your podcast. You can say
it's my
whatever.
that's true. So I listened to this podcast called Girls Gotta Eat, it's a like this really funny show about these two girls talking about dating, and they're very raunchy. And I don't know, at some point, this girl started saying that every single date she goes on, she like has the guy go down on her, and then it's like, "Thank you, goodbye." So I
Wow.
thought that like I should do that too. And so like there was this string of guys where I'd be like, "Okay, pleasure me." And then, like, I did it, like, 2 times, and then one guy, he got so mad. Like, he started telling me that I was, like, manipulative and a selfish person because I didn't have intercourse with him, and he, like and it was one of the most traumatic experiences of my entire life. I don't know
Yeah,
why
that's what I
that's my
sometimes
confession.
recommend.
Please,
Don't
not
follow don't follow the trends on social media, any trend on social media that you find. I mean, is it okay to have those type of experiences that are consensual? Yes, but you have to be upfront about them since the beginning. And the other part is, are you really honoring your objective? Because are you, if your objective is to find somebody that wants commitment and your actions are signaling that you want something different than commitment,
true.
then what are you signaling to yourself and what are you signaling to the rest of the people,
Yeah.
to the people that you're going out with. So if you want to do that, if you really feel like, okay, I'm in a place where I don't want to be in a place where I am going to rush to any sexual activity, and I'm just gonna date for that, then you explicitly say to people that's what you're doing, and there's people that are going to be okay with that because they're aligned on that.
Mhm.
But then don't say that you're looking for something and then you're getting something else, right? And that's what I'm.
So embarrassing because I feel like I think I kind of like I just it's so confusing as an adult because you don't learn these skills in school. And so I started reading dating books and it's like don't have sex before you have exclusivity. And then it's like what does sex actually mean, you know? Because even like with this guy, I'm pointing at my couch, place that I'm making out with a guy a week ago. I met another short guy, and I don't know, early he had already kind of been weird once because he disappeared and he canceled our second date and then he came back and said he's really anxious because his last thing was really difficult, whatever. And so we came out and made out, and then it was moving towards like, I don't know, we went to kind of second base, and I said to him, I don't wanna have sex with you, and he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because you have already told me that you're not sure you want a long-term relationship, and I don't wanna do that and then feel attached to you." So he said, "Okay." And then we kinda made out a little more, and then he left, and then I never heard from him again, and it was really sad, you know? I felt sad because it was just even like, okay, even that was just too much. It was giving too much of myself to have that kind of someone just disappear after I,
Yeah.
op fell up to them that way.
Yeah, I normally don't give any rule of when to go to what base, basically. I never, because I think every situation is different. But if you will get attached, and if you already know that he's a person that does not want commitment, then why are you going out with him, right? That's one of the
Yeah.
lessons to learn. Like, again, if you are in a place where you want certain things, you go there. But if you really want commitment, and if you really, then you take time. And it's not about I'm going to feel sad. It's more about I need to get to know you better, and this is serious and this is precious to me.
Hmm.
So I need to get to know you better. So one thing is to also know how you feel when you feel you're ready, when you feel like you're in a safe place to do it. And the other thing is, um, if he's not okay with that, then he's not your guy.
He's not my guy. Okay,
Then
Nadine,
why
I
feel
guess just
sad
I'm just
if
I'm just turning you to my psychotherapist, which maybe you have that one. You're like, maybe you're one of those people that has just that personality where everybody wants you to be their therapist. You're so
Uh,
sweet. Okay, but I really want to make sure everybody gets a lot of value out of this. So, all right. So, trying to kind of orient yourself around finding a partner, finding a guy who wants to commit, and I find myself on Bumble or on Tinder swiping and trying to find people who say, I want a long term relationship. I mean, I'm really trying to kind of start from that place. And it's just, you know, what are, okay, so if you were going out today to try to find someone, what would be your exact strategy to be your own matchmaker?
okay. Yes, this is great because this is what I teach my people when I go. And first of
Yeah.
all, like this is great. You're actually giving a lot of value to your viewers because these are real life situations of how our mindset can be
Mhm.
getting in our way to relationships. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that before we move on. But if I was single right now, what would I do? First of all, I would the I will first make sure that I'm ready and that I'm as confident as I can be on my life. I am happy with my life. I am happy with my appearance. I am happy and I am confident and I am nourishing myself as much as I can. So that would be my first step. So now that I feel
Okay, so
confident,
let's make sure we make sure we give that the love it deserves. So, in terms of being happy, I definitely can say a resounding yes to that. I am so happy with my life. I love where I live. If I had this life forever, I would be overjoyed. My friends are amazing. I know they listen to this podcast, which is insane. People are listening an hour-long podcast. My friends, I mean, amazing. Like I love I love my life. I have great relationships with my family. I love the work that I do. In terms of the second question, am I ready? It's a funny one because in some ways I've felt ready since I was 13. Like I want a boyfriend. I have a hormone. I want a boyfriend, and then in my 20s I felt ready. I wanted this. In my 30s I felt ready. Maybe it's a different kind of ready now in terms I can feel almost energetically that I'm orienting to something more soft and grounded and simple. But are there kind of, specific questions you can ask yourself to be really sure if you're ready or if you're
yes.
doubting yourself? Okay, let's do that. Let's dive into that.
Yes, let's
So
let me
helpful.
share some of the questions that I ask my people when I'm trying to assess readiness. And the first one is, did I let go of the past? Did I
Ugh.
forgive or am I carrying a lot of baggage when I go on a date? And when you're
Mm,
carrying a lot of baggage when you go on a date, it's like you don't even show up as yourself because you put all of your baggage in front of you and that's what they're seeing.
mm.
When you really forgiven and when you everything that you lived, the good, the bad, and the ugly, make you be who you are today. So you should be happy that you lived all of those. And if you had bad experiences and you can take them as lessons, now you show up and you're wearing it. And it just makes you more beautiful.
Oh, I love
Instead of
that.
just putting it in front of you and just say like, I hate men, they're cheaters, they
Mm,
are they are non-committal, they are all this. Instead of bringing that all of those things, then you take your responsibility over what you made choices in the past and things happen, and if you learn from it, they made you even a better person because you learn from it.
I love
So
that.
that's one of the first questions that I will ask, like, did you let go of the past?
I think that's really important. I think that I can. It's weird. Since I started going back into this, I noticed that I've been a little bit building up some more frustration around men. But I did something today that I felt really good about. I connected with someone from the past and we were having a conversation, and I have this impulse in dating to kind of present myself as this perfect person, polished, asking great questions, making people feel good about themselves. But I was feeling a little overwhelmed. And so he asked me, and I was like, you know what? I actually feel overwhelmed today, especially from social media. It's like just so much input. And the guy gave me a suggestion on how to deal with that. And I felt like that was so sexy, and like I
Yes.
something negative and like get that kind of support. It just felt really good.
Yes, and look at you being open and being feminine and being ready to receive.
Mm.
That's
Right.
that's that's a great signal that you're ready, because when we're not ready, we kind of like try to just please the person in front of us, and just even
Mm.
though you were overwhelmed, you will have passed push through that, not even be vulnerable and say it, and then just be trying to have this conversation and trying to be perfect, instead of
Yeah,
just being vulnerable and saying, "Hey, I'm a little overwhelmed with social media and everything," and then how sexy it is that he gives you that and that you can receive it.
so
So
sexy.
good. I think
It
that's
felt
that's a
yeah.
signal of readiness. That's a sign of readiness.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, and I think that also what was nice is, yeah, I think that's really cool. Okay, so all right, so we were
So that's the
talking
first one.
readiness. Yeah.
The second one that I would like to ask in terms of readiness is, do you like yourself? And this is tough question.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. S- Thank you for that question. I'm like jumping to respond, right? So I think
No, I
I
don't need you to respond, but that's the second question that I will
oh
ask
oh
myself.
I will. I mean, I literally sometimes I'm like think I'm in love with myself. I mean, I like myself so much, and, like, I really am just in love with myself. I mean, I look in the mirror and I was like, I just love you," and I put on a pretty dress, and I just feel so gorgeous, and I put on I did a podcast the other day, and I dressed up, and I just had a date with my podcast audience. I'm very in love with myself. I mean, it sounds arrogant, but I feel like I'm such an amazing person and so full of love and doing good things in the world. And so, yeah, I do. I feel really good about who I am.
That's awesome, because that's one that is very tricky for a lot of people. Because a lot of people, they want to find the flaws. It's like,
Um,
well, I could be thinner, I could be, um, I could be whiter, I could be more tan, I could be, this and that or the other,
yeah.
more than what you are, and that's really where it all starts. Because when you go on a date, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and think like, wow, I'm beautiful. And
Yeah, absolutely.
that's where you're at, you're like, I am in love with myself. So when you're in love with yourself, somebody else can fall in love with you too.
I love that.
N-
And I
Now the
think
next
say
question.
people listening that that's not been evident for me even today. It's like I was having this conversation on Reddit and it's seeming like, wow, I can wake up in the morning, I look so bloated and gross, and then I put on a little bit of makeup and it's like a different person. And and then I was it was funny because I was walking around in my sweatsuit today. And because sometimes I feel when I'm wearing like a super hot dress, everyone's looking at me and winking at me. And I realized today, I was like, no makeup, hair, sweatsuit. Like, I think the same number of men are actually looking at me, but I just didn't notice it like I did
I
when
love
I,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's not
Okay.
about the makeup, it's really about the attitude and the confidence that you have when you go out. And sometimes when we're in sweats, we're not confident, not because we're wearing sweats, just because we're self-conscious and we're just telling ourselves, "Oh my God, you look like crap, so don't don't even look at anybody." So you act. It's like you even your body language is even like contracted, like, I don't want anybody to see me. And
Yeah.
and 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 you do it on dates too, when you're self-conscious, like, instead of like being open and talking, you're like, oh, let me hide my belly over here, and things like that there.
For
So it's really
sure. For
important.
sure. And I'm
i've
not
i've
perfect. You know, like I sometimes go on dates or I see a guy that I like and I think, "Oh my gosh, I would never presume that guy would like me." You know? I mean, he's too handsome or he's too this. I mean, I could never presume because I'm, ick or whatever. And I do have to like remember to bring that into dates. And it's not obvious. I mean, I've done so many meditation groups and therapy, and a year ago I decided to manifest having a positive self-image. So, and it feels wonderful. So it has taken work. For anyone listening, it's taken work, to
Yeah,
get
it takes so much work. And honestly, I'm um very empathetic about this because I was someone that dated feeling, I always tell this and it sounds bad, but I dated feeling ugly and I dated feeling beautiful. And nothing physically happened in between except for the work that I did to love myself. And
absolutely.
it's everyday work just from starting to, hey, I have a body, I have eyes,
Mm.
to you know what, I'm really having a good hair day, to look at this, look at that spark in my eyes, look at that great smile, every day recognizing, because we were programmed, like this is scientific, like our brain is programmed to, for all the years that we've had in the past, and if we have been reinforcing that we're not good enough, that we're not pretty enough, that we're this and that, that's what it's comfortable for our brain to do,
Yeah,
instead of, and we have, but we can change it. That's the good news. We can change it, but it takes work. It does take work.
it does take work. But what's amazing, okay, so here we are. We are getting ready. We are figuring out if we're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we are fine. Make sure we're in love with ourselves. And what was the first
Mm-hmm.
question?
You let go of the past. You
Let
also
go of
need
the
to feel,
past. Fall in love with yourself. Okay.
you need to make sure that you already feel complete, that you're not looking for somebody to complete you. You're
Mm,
already complete. You're already your best friend. You're
check.
already your best company.
Yeah.
So now that you know that you can trust yourself, that you can love yourself, and you feel like you're ready now, let's see how to find your dates, right? That's what where it
Yeah.
gets important. And a lot of people say, I ask 100% of the people that I meet, what are you doing? And they all say, I'm using the dating apps, but I hate them.
Oh, yeah.
And because you're only using the dating apps, first of all, because that's one strategy when you can be using 10 strategies. So now we get to the strategy point. We already talk a
Spoken
lot
like a
about
true
mindset.
corporate executive. You have to
So
diversify. Yeah.
dating apps do work, and if you use them with caution and with strategy, and your profile needs to be good, needs to say certain things, is your, in a way, your dating brand, but it's also, you need to use it as it was, um as I think it should be used, which is to connect with someone and take it to real life. And a lot of people just use it to get hits of dopamine every time somebody likes them, or so if you don't have the right mindset, you use it to get your self-esteem out of how many people they like you, and when they don't like you, you don't feel loved, and when they like you, you feel loved. So you're going through ups and downs, and that's why people get fatigued. Then
Yeah.
other people use it just to have a pre-screening process, and they have to ask all these 20 questions before they even meet somebody in person, instead of using it to really, hey, how are you? Oh, I love that you said this in your profile. Let's go out for coffee. That's how dating apps should be used. If not,
Okay. So
and
I usually do that. Like I just go straight to, "Hey, let's get a coffee," as soon as
Mhm.
possible. Um, but I feel like I'm just meeting all these people who aren't interested in commitment. So is there some way to kind of
You say it in your profile since the beginning. I'm not interested on chatting. I'm interested in meeting in person. So you already are attracting
But
those
I mean,
people
what
that you
about
want.
people who, like, not meet people who are just interested in sex, but who are interested in actually having a
You 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 can say that. You can say, I am looking for a committed relationship. I'm not here for, well, I never say that. You should say, I'm not here for hookups, because that brings the attention to the hookup part.
Yes.
But what I will say is like, um this is who I'm looking, right? You are interested in in a committed relationship, you like this, you're open, you're emotionally available, etc. And then I am the same, and I like this and that, so very brief. And then you say, if you're interested, let's take this out offline as soon as possible. So
Mm,
those are three things that I would put in the dating apps. Now, apart from the dating apps, the people get frustrated with the dating apps because that's the only thing they're using. You can do you can do matchmaking.
mhm,
So how do you do matchmaking? You can do it in different ways. The passive way is to be in in the matchmaking database of any matchmaker that you have locally. Or if you are extending your search, you can be in many databases on the cities that you think that you would like to live. And then
mm,
you say you're open to relocation, right? So that's the passive way. You don't have to pay. Most databases are free. So join it, create a profile, and make sure that they know what you're looking for, so that if they have a client that could be a match for you, they
yeah,
reach out to you. So that's most of the time that's free. There are other versions that you have to pay to be a member. There are other versions that, like the ones I offer, where I am going to help you in the mentoring program. I am going to help you to get your dates, and I'm going to guide you through being your own matchmaker. But just to just to say that that's that option. Then there's the option of singles events. Singles events, they're there in most cities, and if they're not, and if you're traveling, that's when you can just plan your travel around those singles events, where you're going to meet people that are on the same in the same wavelength that you are, and they're trying to meet people in real life. Now,
mm,
if in your city there's no that, then there's Meetup, right? Meetup, you can meet people. Then that's another strategy. So we have dating apps, we have matchmaking, we have singles events that are hosted by matchmakers or hosted
mm,
by professionals. Then there's Meetup, where there's dinner groups, there's biking groups, there's hiking groups, there's all of these things that you can go and meet other people, and you don't have to make it about dating. You
mm,
can make it about expanding your network. That's when the network part comes too. You have
yeah,
to expand your network, because you were saying in the beginning, I am telling my friends that they can match me, but the more people that you meet and the more friends that you make, the bigger your network can be, and
yeah.
the bigger a pool of people that you can reach.
Do you think that there are some cities that are better for meeting high quality men? Like,
I think yes, there are people that are there. There are cities that are bigger and they have more diversity, and they have more. There industries that they're in those cities that are male oriented,
mm,
and but I think that you can find a good man anywhere
mm.
if you do the right things, and
So where do they
also
hang out though,
can.
Nadine? Like, where should you go? Like, I have a coffee shop I go every day. I tried CrossFit. I sprained my neck, so I'm not going back there. I think that going to these male-dominated sports is just not the path for me, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes at these singles events, you get these, like, very low affect, kind of frail men. Mm.
What? How many singles events have you been to?
Not a lot.
Yeah, you
I
have to
kinda
choose
stopped going because
some.
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah. Sometimes you're gonna go to and it is all about adding this as your strategy and really looking for events that are good. Now there are other groups that are dinners with friends. There are so many options. You just have to be open to doing that and not just get discouraged. Getting discouraged for one or two events would be like swiping onto people and just thinking that's it.
Yeah.
So you really have to look at it. And what you were saying about locations,
Well, actually, can we talk about events though? Because I feel
yeah.
like I have friends who go to events every single week, and I go to events too. I'm just in terms of like what if you were single today, what types of events would you go to?
I will go to something organized by a matchmaker, to be honest. Like I would like my events are a little bit more intentional. They had activities that are for you to meet everybody in the room.
Mm.
I've been to most singles events here in
Mhm.
Nashville, even when they are organized by others, just because I like to know what they are before I send my people to them. You have to look at the age ranges that are gonna be there's some companies that are more like younger focused and they're just mixers. There's no activity like
Yeah.
intentionally
Okay,
making you
so
talk
I
to
feel like
people.
I'm really pushing you on this point, and it's like basically you kind of have to come in with an attitude of there are good men to be found, and you need to open yourself to the possibility that they come in. But just like if we dive a little into culture here, so I tried dating in New York. It was incredibly hard. I went to San Francisco. It was a lot easier. I think of Nashville as kind of more southern. I had a roommate who lived in Mexico, and I remember her brothers from Guadalajara. Her brothers came to visit and we went up. I think we had to go outside for some reason. I don't know why, because we didn't smoke, but we just stood up and both of her brothers immediately stood up. And I was like, "What is going on? This is so amazing," you know? And
Uh,
I was like, "Why did you That's amazing that your brothers did that." And she said, "If they didn't do that, my mother would beat them." Like, literally. And so I just have to wonder if there's some cultures that are better for meeting these, masculine gentleman type men than others.
Yes, Mexican culture is very different and there's still a lot more. I think they're a lot more sociable too. That's the other thing. It's more community based. So there's a lot of parties that you get invited to. There's a lot of more of socializing or people meeting just in the street. It's the culture is more community based. Now, you were talking about San Francisco, and that this is hilarious because I just have a friend that is moving from San Francisco to Nashville because he's saying that it's very hard to date in San Francisco, which is funny because he's a guy and you're a woman and you're saying it's great there.
Yes,
He's saying it's really bad for men. So
exactly.
part of it is mindset. Part of it is really mindset, and you really have to be open, and you have to be open to your partner being in anywhere. And when
Mm,
you're really sure that you're gonna find a partner and you're open to meeting them, you don't get discouraged by one thing, which is the location. You don't get discouraged
yeah.
because of the events. You just keep being out there and keep trying the next thing. You go like, oh, okay, my guy wasn't here. But sometimes you meet, it's amazing. Sometimes you meet a girl and she becomes your friend and she ends up having a best friend or a cousin or something. So if
Yeah.
you really go to the events to find a partner that meets your criteria, you're doing it wrong. If you go to an event to meet people and to have a good time, then that's when things start to happen because that you're putting yourself in that mindset. So add your singles events, add yes, if you can, if you have the facility to go to if to go to other places, yeah, come to Nashville, go to
Okay.
Florida, there's go to LA, where there's a lot of the matchmakers doing events, or just follow the matchmakers and where they're doing events. And really the events from matchmakers are different than the ones that are just event organizers. Ev-
Amazing. Yeah, Nadine,
Um,
I'm gonna be respectful of your time because
yes,
I know you're
yes.
busy finding love for everyone. Is there anything, I mean, I really want to encourage people to take advantage of Nadine's services. You can find her at matchmakingnashville.com. She's also on Instagram at matchmaking Nashville and provides amazing matchmaking and also all these incredible programs. Nadine, gosh, I have so many more questions I want to ask. What I'm really taking away from this is networking, to enjoy yourself, to have fun, to build community, keeping that positive attitude. And so I guess I'll just end with a question, which is really in my heart right now, which is, what do you do when you're surrounded by people? I mean, I feel like there are a lot of women surrounding me who, with very good reason, feel distraught about the way men are treating them. And it's hard for me to keep a positive attitude about dating because my friends are having negative experiences and feeling negative about men.
You have to make your own opinion and probably limit those conversations regarding that topic with them. You have to believe that they are good men out there. And if you do, you will find them more easily.
Mm,
If you keep focusing on the lack of good men, your brain it's going to look for more of those bad men, bad,
yeah.
bad
Bad
experiences.
boy.
If you focus on the possibility of finding good men, and if you focus on that, you're going to find evidence.
Yes.
Find evidence. Relate with the ladies that did find a partner, that look on Facebook. Sometimes I see ladies that ask, where did you find your partner?" So that I get encouraged. And a
Mm,
lot of there's 100 comments of people that find their partners on Bumble, on Hinge, on Facebook dating, on a singles event from a friend of a friend. They're listen to those things and
mm,
find the evidence that they are good men and they are being found.
beautiful.
The more that you focus on that, the more that you'll get in that wavelength.
Amazing. I love that. Anything else you're burning to share that we didn't touch upon today?
No, I love how
We
you made
covered a
this
lot of
so
ground.
vulnerable. I think it will be very valuable for your audience. I am my mentoring program. I am doing it nationwide. So most of my other memberships I do only local in Nashville, but the mentoring one where I guide you to be your own matchmaker and guide you through these struggles and to this strategy and network and mindset is nationwide. So I'm open to just call me, get a consultation with me, and I'll be happy to work with you.
Perfect. Well, this has been such a treat. When you come across someone who's going to be my perfect husband, give me a ring. I'll fly out. And I'm just so happy to connect with you. I feel like I have a new friend and muchas gracias.
De nada, Manisha. I love to have you in my database. I'm gonna text you my link so that I have
Perfect.
your profile and I have you ready to match.
Woohoo! I'll sign right up and hope all of you will sign up too. Thanks so much, Nadine. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye bye.